One of the key distinctions between entrepreneurs that are making 6-7 figures with their agency and consulting or educational offer is them being able to think in ecosystems versus singularity thinking. In this video, I'm going to show you how to think in ecosystem, whether you're thinking about your product or whether you're thinking about your content ecosystem. In order for you to understand how a digital business or any kind of enterprise is built up and what are the basic functions, I'm going to show you the 4 basic elements, which is any kind of business basically has fulfillment or deliverables, whether it's your service or your coaching offer, your course, or any kind of digital product that you're actually providing. Now, you have to make sure that you have operations to fulfill. These are your internal processes, your task management, your HR, your finances, your law, everything that to fulfill these deliverables to the client. Now, in order to fulfill and sell them, you have to market the product and then you have to sell the product, right? So sales basically. These are the main 4 function and areas of a business that you have to be aware of and constantly be thinking about. Now, in order to fulfill or deliver your digital product, you have to think of systems. You have to systemize your entire deliverable process. I call this the conveyor method. Basically, you want to make sure that to fulfill or deliver your service basically doesn't take a lot of time, or if it does, then you're compensated for it. Or if you're coaching, then you do not have to repeat yourself all over and over again. So you have a course or frameworks or books on the given topic that you're delivering. Now, regarding operations, obviously you want to have systems, whether these are flowcharts or whether these are different kind of SOP, standard operating procedures, to fulfill your service and educational offer. But the most important part that I love to talk about is marketing and selling these offers, because that's how you're effectively going to scale, right? Now, when it comes to marketing, I'm a big advocate of creating content. And not only creating content, but creating an entire content ecosystem in order for you to be able to deliver your services. And then obviously, if your communication and messaging is aligned, you have to take them from being aware that you exist and they have a problem through the journey of sales and them realizing that your product is what's needed, obviously using your operation, to all the way delivering your coaching services and getting them results or finishing up your services. Now, once you understand that these are the main 4 elements of any business, then we can get to talking about your clients. And when we're talking about your clients, obviously they have to be aware that you exist. But they will not just find out by themselves, they have to be aware of it. Now, most marketers do not talk about it, but there are 5 stages of awareness. Let me walk you through the 5 stages of awareness that your audience and client could be in. And once you understand these awareness levels, and some call it the awareness bridge, you want to make sure that your clients walk through the awareness bridge all the way to buying and purchasing your product. Now, the 5 stages of awareness is, the first stage is someone being completely unaware. This means that they aren't aware of their desire or their need to solve the problem, or they won't honestly admit it that they have a problem or desire to solve it. This is the first step. Second stage is the problem aware. When your audience is problem aware, they know that they have a problem to solve, but they aren't aware of any specific solution, how they could solve that problem. This is the second stage. And this will be very important once we talk about the ecosystems, which this entire video is about. So make sure to pay attention of these stages of awareness. The next one is being solution aware. Being solution aware is when your audience knows that there is a solution to their problem, but they don't know of any specific product or service that could solve their problem. This is the third step, and this is how we're getting closer and closer to being super aware, right? The next stage, the fourth one, is being product aware. This is when your audience, client, or lead, more like, know that your product exists, but they aren't completely aware what it does or how it could help them, or they're not convinced that your product is the one that's going to help them solve their problem. And then the last stage of awareness is when they're most aware, and this is the fifth step. Now, when your leads are most aware, they know of your product, they know what it does, but they just haven't gotten around buying it or purchasing it just yet. You want to understand the awareness level, and you also want to understand that if you're selling a service, an education program or coaching program, coaching offer, one-to-many, one-to-one, masterminds, workshops, most of the time when you meet people, 97% of them will not be ready to buy. There's only 3% that will be very aware that they have a problem and they're looking for a solution, and you hit them right on the head and they're ready to purchase. But that means that the rest of them needs to be nurtured. They need to be walked through the awareness bridge, or the 5 stages of awareness. And this is when the 6-7 figure entrepreneurs come into the pictures that I talked about in the beginning of the video, because they think in ecosystems. You cannot just target one specific client. I'm aware that we always talk about ideal client profile. Your ideal client profile remains the same just because they're not aware of them being your ideal client. And this is how we get to entrepreneurs being able to scale super fast and getting to the ecosystems part of this video. When you think of creating your program, service, offer, or you're scaling from freelancer to agency, you're a consultant, you're a coach, you're a lawyer, and you're educating your audience. And we always recommend building out your highest, most premium ticket program or service. This is the all-inclusive package, basically, that they're going to pay $5 to $15 to $50K for, depending on what industry and what result and transformation you're getting to the clients. Now, this is for those that have gone through the awareness bridge. They're very aware, they have the resources, they have that desire and that pain to solve their problem. They are the ones that are going to be able to purchase this and go through this transformation, buy the service, whether it's B2C or B2B. But when you're thinking about product ecosystem, you want to understand the stages of awareness, and you also understand that some people might not be aware that they need this. So it means we need to educate them with different kind of products in the front end. And these are lower ticket front end products, easy to buy courses. These could be lead magnets. These are your books, your downloadables, some of your courses. And these products will constantly target different kind of people in different kind of awareness levels. Because if I'm not aware of my problem, you might want to outline in your content, and I will talk about it later, that I do have a problem, and in the back end offer me some value with a lead magnet that happens to solve that problem. When you offer me that lead magnet or that product, I will become more aware that I have a problem. So now my mind switches to solving that problem, and I'm going to start actively look for solutions if my pain and problem is strong enough. Based on your backend program, you want to create several smaller products that will help your clients understand what you do, how you do it, and solves their micro pains. And that is how we build up a product ecosystem. Now, obviously you can have mid-ticket products, which could be your $500 to $1,000 courses, challenges. These could be a few consulting calls, and basically you help your clients walk through their awareness bridge and ascend them to your highest, largest package when it comes to selling high ticket. Now, this is how you're thinking about a product ecosystem. You want to have different kinds of product for different types of people, different types of pain points within the same ideal client profile. And the reason I'm talking about this entire topic is just recently I was having a conversation with a great friend of mine. He is making over $100,000 a month, and he realized that he does not have what we call the content ecosystem. And that's exactly right. That's what I'm going to talk about here. And when we talk about content ecosystem, we can talk about funnels as well. The top of the funnel is usually the widely distributed content. Now, obviously, this can be your short form, your YouTube videos. These can be your blog posts, LinkedIn posts, X posts. These can be you speaking at different kind of conferences or webinars, seminars, where people get to know you. A lot of people see you here, and those people, all of them, will be in different stages of awareness. So when you're planning your content, keep in mind that not everybody is in the same stage of awareness. So despite the fact that you know your ICP and you know your backend product, you still want to dissect those communication styles into different kind of awareness stages. In the next part of your content ecosystem, you might have the middle of the funnel, where they already started engaging with you and you're starting sending emails. they already engage with you and they start watching more of your content on YouTube or your VSL, or they might have purchased some of your courses. So they're one step ahead and one step closer to becoming either a high ticket client or gaining the trust with your brand. Now, obviously, these will be less people than on the top of the funnel, but they will be more warm leads, they will be closer to your brand, and they will have a higher trust and getting closer and closer, walking through the awareness bridge to your high ticket or full service that you're providing later down the line. As these people are going down and down in your funnel, they're consuming more and more content, whether it's through your Instagram, through your YouTube, through your courses or lead magnets, and they're actually going to end up in buying one of your services or referring you to people that will be buying your services. Now, during this conversation with my friend, we realized that their offer basically is a 12-month program, and the way they get leads is they run ads to a paid webinar, and then after the paid webinar, they get on a closing call with one or two closing call with those that are interested in their services and in their education. But he realized that he has a leaky funnel. And the reason why he has a leaky funnel is because he never thought about building an entire content ecosystem. So he pays tens of thousands of dollars in ads to get people to the webinar, of which there will be fewer people getting onto the call, and obviously fewer people buying and getting into the program. He's still very profitable, but he realized that he is losing a big percentage of clients going from ads to the webinar, and then obviously he only starts nurturing them with emails, post-webinar sales emails, to get them on a call and make them to buy. But what he's not having, he has never built a content ecosystem or a social funnel between the ads and the webinar. So all those people that come into the paid webinar have no way to follow him, as he has no content ecosystem and no social presence. When I made him realize that he's losing a lot of potential clients and leads because of this, he got very serious and asked me to walk him through about how to build an entire content ecosystem. And I think now you understand that no matter what type of business you're running, building a social following is key, as we're living in the age of AI, commercialized information, everything is available, but people want to buy from people. People resonate with stories, and you can only do that not only through a paid webinar or ads, but if they come through the ads, they see your brand, and then they can actually go ahead and start consuming different type of content pieces for different type of awareness levels in order for them to be more and more nurtured. Why? Because once you're using your retargeting ads, you will lower your CPA, as they've already seen your face, as they're already more aware, they already know that you exist, their problem exists, and at this point they might also know that there is a solution to their problem, which is your service or offer. So instead of having the leaky funnel between the ads and the webinar, start creating your social funnel, start creating content for your business, and target different kind of people with different level of awareness in order for them to be nurtured, because not everybody is going to be ready to buy your program right away. In fact, it's only 3%, but you don't want to lose the remaining 97% of those people. So this is how the content ecosystem comes into the picture. Creating videos is just one way to do that, both short form and long form. You also want to provide them more and more value, not through videos, but lead magnets, PDFs, guides, checklists, videos, mini courses, and of course emails, because once you're in their pocket, you start owning the audience and not just renting. This is something that I learned from Matt Gray. On the top of funnel, you always have rented audience. This is when they're following you on social. As soon as you get their email, you own that audience. And then basically, as soon as they become a client, that's when you own them and they trust you, and then you can go with the recurring offers and keep building the lifetime value of that given customer. That's when you can go ahead and do the upsells. So this is how we think about the content ecosystems when we're building out entire coaching offers, product ecosystems, or agency offers, that just because you know clearly what you sell and who you're selling it to, it doesn't mean that you have everything figured out. You want to make sure that you understand different kind of awareness stages, and you start creating content to each of those awareness stages, and then basically build out your content ecosystem to start nurturing the 97% that is not ready to buy. And now you understand that the marketing, selling, operation, and fulfillment is required for you to see that helicopter view, that bird's eye view of your business. And then when you understand the awareness levels, you understand your potential leads and clients. And when you have your product ecosystem and you can kind of cherry pick each of those products from your ecosystem and feed them through your content ecosystem to people in different awareness level, then you basically have an army of content and an army of potential leads coming in to your backend offer, and you start ascending them through the product and content ecosystem. I hope you found this explanation useful. Feel free to ask in the comment, because I have a lot of other frameworks that we're using for our clients when we're building out their backend businesses or front-end businesses, and I'm super happy to answer any of these comments. Make sure to hit the like button so the algorithm feeds this video to a lot more people and we can help a lot more coaches and agency owners, freelancers, and consultants grow their businesses. And if you find this useful, or you find me a cool and likable guy, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I will keep feeding you guys a lot of value on how we're building 6-7 figure businesses to our clients. I'll see you in the next video.